Guess what? Paramount Sonic the Hedgehog movie is getting a sequel. Hey everybody, Blood Moon Bobby here. So yes, Sonic the Hedgehog the movie is getting a sequel. This is coming from a exclusive report from Variety. They said the Paramount Sonic the Hedgehog live action film is getting a sequel. The site said Paramount and Sega Sammy, which is basically the company that owns Sega, confirmed on Thursday that development has begun on this new movie and it will reteam the filmmakers. The Variety story said that Jeff Fowler will be directing the sequel, and Pat Casey and Josh Miller are writing the script. The story basically said we're still in the very early days of the sequel, so there is no official word on casting or even when production will start on this new movie. So it's not too much to go around other than possible hints from the very first Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So I'll start off this video by saying I did a review of Sonic the Hedgehog a while ago, and I thought it was a pretty decent movie. I thought it was a fun film. I could definitely tell it's one of those movies where the filmmakers definitely had a lot of fun with the source material, and I thought it had its creative scenes and it has a few good laughs thrown in there. It is kind of cheesy at points, but it's an enjoyable kind of cheesy where you could tell that the film is just having fun with itself and the source material. So I do say it is definitely worth at least one viewing, and I do think that the cast did a pretty good job. Still kind of iffy on the direction they took with Jim Carrey as Eggman. I mean, I do like Jim Carrey. It's just that his performance as Eggman wasn't, the Eggman we usually see. It was he kind of more leaned into the typical sort of Jim Carrey characteristics, but I still thought that I definitely felt that he was still putting a lot of effort in the role, especially that one Dan and scene in the middle of the film. I thought was pretty decent. It's really kind of hard to say what this new movie will be about. I think at this point we could really only speculate based on a couple of supposed hints that are in the first film, because I do remember a couple things that especially showed up toward the end of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And by the way, there's going to be some spoilers in here. Or one I could think of is, for instance, Eggman is defeated at the end of the first Sonic film, but what basically happened is he is sent to another world, and he goes from looking like the Eggman that we've seen in the trailers with the hair into looking like a much more conventional Eggman. Basically, if you've seen the first Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, at the very end they showed what Eggman looks like when he looks more like the Robotnik Eggman that we see in the Sonic the Hedgehog games. That's basically what happens at the end of the film. I think there's a good chance that Eggman will come back, or I think there's definitely the possibility that he could return as the villain, especially since I know a lot of people really liked Jim Carrey's performance as Robotnik slash Eggman. I think there's a good chance that he'll come back. I know there's some people who said that Jim Carrey would be the person who would carry the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, so I think there's a fair chance that he'll return. And another character that made an appearance at basically the very end of the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie was Tails. He basically makes a very brief appearance at the end. We don't even get to see him interact with Sonic, so I would imagine that we would get to see him in the sequel as well. The little hints they threw in toward the end of the film, I think, could stem the possibility of a sequel. I mean, I don't know exactly what director Jeff Fowler was thinking when he put those scenes in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, but I wouldn't be surprised if he put them in as either as hints of a sequel, or I guess it was like his way of saying, hey, I would like to do a sequel, and here's a couple possible hints with Eggman and Tails. I'm sure there's other possibilities we could throw around. I mean, I'm sure people will bring up things like, the relationship between Sonic's best friend in the movie and his girlfriend. And there's also the possibility, one of the nice creative touches that I got out of the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie was that the rings that Sonic uses, it's not like in a typical Sonic game where the rings are basically used to get points, the rings can actually be used as portals. Like, that's how he was able to jump, all across the world in the first film, and he's able to go to both real locations. Like, I remember in the first movie, there were brief scenes where he runs through, like, the Great Wall of China and France, and there's also like fictional worlds that he goes to in those portals. So maybe it's possible they could go to, like, I don't know if they'll do a thing where, like, they go all around the world, or they go to a fictional place, maybe somewhere that's inspired by something in one of these Sonic the Hedgehog games. At this point, I think we could really only speculate, since there's very few details on what this new movie is about. The most we have for now is the word that, hey, this new sequel is in development. So for this video, I'm mainly just speculating based on the hints and the plot points that were in the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Something else I wanted to mention, I know something that kind of made the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie a bit infamous was when we saw the first trailer of Sonic the Hedgehog. It was hated on the internet because people really didn't like how Sonic looked, and the filmmakers went back and they fixed up his appearance. They delayed the release date of the film to get Sonic the way he looks like in the final film. And I'm sure it's going to be a thing of, regardless of which characters they put in this new movie, whether it's just Sonic or they throw in Tails or any other characters from the Sonic universe, I'm sure the filmmakers, have taken notes this time, because I have a feeling that they're, like, I'm just speculating here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're not going to do a thing where they delay the movie and go back a second time, because I imagine it must be really expensive, and given the delay, it takes time to redesign the characters. So in terms of character designs, I'm sure it's going to be at least on par with what we got in the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So let me know your thoughts down below. What possibilities can you see out of a Sonic the Hedgehog sequel? I played a few of the Sonic games, and I saw bits and pieces of Sonic X and one of the Sonic the Hedgehog, other Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons as a kid. So I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think we'll see even more characters from Sonic? Like, do you think maybe we will see characters like Amy, Knuckles, or Shadow? Do you think we'll see maybe other worlds inspired by something we've seen in the other Sonic the Hedgehog movies? Or do you think they'll just go around the world? It's really, at this point, since they haven't even announced when the production will start, I think at this point, it's really anybody's guess until they release concrete plot information. So I'm open to what you have to say down below in the comments. Do you think it's possible they might even bring back Gangsta's Paradise? I don't think they will, but I think it would be really kind of funny if they put Gangsta's Paradise in the Sonic the Hedgehog sequel. And maybe, I also wouldn't be surprised if they may make some kind of on-the-nose reference where they say something like, oh, hey, the character design, we got it right on the first try this time, or something like that. It may kind of come off as on the nose, but I'm kind of wondering if they'll put those kind of jokes in the sequel. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are you excited for this Sonic the Hedgehog sequel? Did you see the first movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it so much? I know that the first Sonic the Hedgehog film had its critics. Like I said, I thought it was a pretty decent movie overall, and I'm glad that it had fun with itself. So leave all those thoughts down below. Until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos, and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.